Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Perfectly Twisted with myself, Nicole Eggert, and my friend Dave Palais here.
How you doing, Nicole?
If you want me to be honest,
Yeah, we want you to be honest. I want you to be
horrible.
honest.
I'm absolutely horrible. It's Wednesday, and I had it's Wednesday the 24th. I had treatment last Tuesday, and listen, it's my final treatment, I believe. So I was really serious about telling my body that we were just going to celebrate and there was going to be no side effects. There were going to be no symptoms. No. It's kicking my ass. Kicking my ass. Last night was a really rough night.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's just hard, and I'm so swollen to boot. Like, there's all the symptoms, everything hurts, blah, 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 blah. I could go on and
Yeah.
on and on about everything that hurts, but the swelling that happens from the steroids, so it's like my neck all right here is all swollen, and, like, my body, like, I can't move properly. It's just like I'm like a weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. I, like, roll around. It's, yeah, it's a doozy. Doozy, really ready for this one to be over.
I can imagine my mindset probably would have been the same way if I was in your shoes, meaning that I know it's my last one, and then poof, I'm thinking I'm going to go back to feeling the way I did before all this started. And then I understand exactly what you're saying. One thing you said at the very beginning of this whole process, and I think it's good advice for anyone who either is going through it or someone who knows someone who's going to go through it. It's the what to say and what not to say. Does that
Yeah.
make any sense? Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember when you first said that, you said it this is my journey. That might have been your journey, or that might have been what you heard, but this is my journey. And I say that because I have multiple friends who are fighting different forms of cancer right now, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I know because they don't feel well, or they don't feel like themselves, whether they look in the mirror, just the way their bodies feel. I don't want to upset them, but it feels like everyone who's going through your fight, you're a little on edge for a number of reasons, and you have full right to be on edge. I don't want to say the wrong thing, and I'd recommend anyone that listened to Nicole since the moment she started this is I'd say be there to support your friends, your family. But it's everyone's journey is different. I mean, I noticed just in the comments that we're getting, Nicole, in our messages to your mailbag, people still trying to tell you how you
Yeah.
should fight your cancer. And I
Yeah.
know their intentions are probably good, but it's still at the same time, you've put a lot of time into your attempt to fight this.
Yeah. I know someone, in on my social media as well, it's like I'm talking about my 8th and final treatment, and they're like, "You should do this, you should do that." It's a little late, you know?
Yeah.
It's a little late for what I coulda, shoulda done, I've done it. But yes, I think people's intentions are they have good intentions, so, but it is just sort of funny, and people, they do a lot of talking and not a lot of listening sometimes, but yeah, it's just different. I don't know, like, everything is so different for everybody. Like, right now when I'm all swollen and my mouth hurts so bad, a
Yeah.
lot of people like frozen grapes. I can't stand them, but a cold piece of pineapple, life
Really?
game changer for me in the middle of the night. Yeah.
No
And
way.
yeah, and my friend Christy's dad sent one out from Maui that I just cut up and have in the refrigerator, and
That's cool.
yeah, so that's my go-to. So everybody is so different, like, just the littlest things can change so much. Um, which will bring me to this. I have a little bit of a product alert, sort of. I wanna know if anybody else has ever tried this because apparently it's super popular. It's, Papa and Barkley. It's like THC infused, healing balm. So my body aches so bad at this point after treatment, like, so bad. My bones, my muscles, everything. So I just started putting this on. I'm not sure if it works or not. I'm gonna say that it works because I haven't had a lot of pain, but I just started slathering myself up before I even felt anything, and I feel like, um, it has saved me from some of the body pain. It really has.
Is it
Um,
is it a roll on, or is it like
yeah,
can
it's
you
like
open
a
the tub?
balm. This one is like a balm that you
Okay.
you roll on. They have, ones in little things, like in little jars. I think it runs about $30. THC infused, not, HCG. I mean HCG, what the oh my god, I'm on
THC.
another yeah, it's THC, not, oh my god, what is weed called when it's not THC? CBT. CBD. It's not CBD. It's not CBD, it's THC, but it does not get you high or you don't feel any effects or anything like that. But it's just more potent. So I'm curious if anybody else has tried this. And I also got it for Keegan's ankles because she has really bad ankles and she does gymnastics. So I wanted to try it on her. Of course, she hasn't been in any pain since I got it. So I don't know, but Papa and Barkley. I don't know.
Okay. There you go.
Curious.
I think that, yeah, it's important. Nobody wants to be in pain or uncomfortable. Absolutely. Just curious,
No.
what does your shirt say?
Oh, my daughter ordered this for me, Keegan, on Amazon. Cancer is a big fat poopy head.
I like it. There you go.
And it is. And I was
That's
feeling that this morning. I was like, this is a day for that shirt. I go for my last blood injection today, though, so that's exciting.
okay.
Those feel like crap too, but it's my last one. It's my
That's
last
awesome.
one. Yeah.
How long do those usually take?
Not long. Not long at
Doesn't take
all.
long.
It's just that the process of going there, checking in the center, it's like it takes a few hours, but the
Okay.
actual injection is really quick. But then you feel like it's really kind of this double-edged sword because you take these blood injections that give you flu-like symptoms, but
Yeah.
it prevent you from getting the flu or getting sick. So it's like
Okay.
it brings all your blood cell counts up to normal to protect you from, getting any kind of sick, but it gives you flu symptoms. So it's like, oh,
Are you just gonna go out and try and celebrate after this one? I mean, do you have something planned to say, hey, you know what, we're through the different appointments?
well, I have so much ahead of me. I meet with the surgeons on Friday to see what
Okay.
they say, to see what my options are to remove this crap out of my body. But it's Keegan's birthday coming up, so that's going to be with all focus is going to be on Keegan turning 13, us
Good.
having a great time at the beach, some normalcy.
You know what? Good for you and good for her. You know what? I mean, this has been an incredible road that you've gone through in 2024, but your daughter's been right next to you. And I know your other daughter loves you and she's across the country, but I mean, there aren't too many 12-year-olds that sit there and, with their mom have to do this fight. Good for you, good for her. She's a
Yeah,
brave girl too.
such a brave girl. And, and I had said to her, um, when it was my last one, and I said, I think I beat this. I'm going to live. And she said, I never doubted it. And it just was
Good.
like, she just never was upset and never doubted
Yeah.
it. And I just, that's been and she's kept me on my toes, if I have to be honest. Like she's not giving me any leeway.
Yeah.
She still sits down and goes, "Can you make me a snack?" Or I just sit down. She's like, "Can you go get me some berries?" It's like, "Can you? Can you go get can you go get your own berries?" But when she has seen me like really struggling, like maybe to carrying stuff, or she's really stepped in just really quietly and
Yeah.
like she changes the water containers, those big 5-gallon things. I don't even have to mention it. She's just always changing because I can't do it anymore. She just does little things like that without saying a
Yeah.
peep, and it's just like so appreciative. Yeah, such a little soldier, that one.
No, I'm impressed. I mean, I can't. Literally, my eyes are tearing up right now because it is a lot. When you're that age and you can't help. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, she can't make her mom better.
Yeah,
There's not dad's not there. Her sister, who obviously she's very close to. Again, it's you and her. That have fight this thing and see it every single day. And then you've kind of shared a little bit on the show, but one of her close friends or one of your close friends didn't beat the fight,
yeah.
and to sit there and watch and see what the outcome could be, man, there's been a lot of stress on that girl. I bet that she is held in, and man, it just she is great. I hope she has a fantastic birthday. Nobody deserves a better 13th birthday than that girl.
I agree. Laying in bed, thinking through my head, like, do I write her a card? Like, how do I explain to her, like, what an amazing kid she is and how well deserved this is. But, I think too, having communication is so important.
Yeah,
I remember having a meltdown in the car. I was out trying to be normal and everything becomes overwhelming. Like you said, people get annoyed. It does. It really makes this like everything gets on your nerves. Everything's overwhelming. You just want everything to go away and be quiet. And I was having one of those moments that I was just crying in the car. I couldn't help it. And she said out loud, I don't know what to say. And I said to her, well, that's amazing. You don't have to say anything. There's nothing to
Yeah.
say. You don't
Yeah.
have to say a thing. Don't even put that pressure on yourself. And we just sat there and hugged and cried. And I think taking that off of them helps too. I mean, I've tried my
I agree.
best to make sure that she doesn't feel like it's on her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. No. You guys are a great team. I'm really. You guys are outstanding. It's. I'm glad. I'm glad that you're done with the last chemo session, the blood infusion, and I know you're taking steps, to cross that finish line. But wow, what a ride! What a ride
What
is
a
right.
ride. What a ride I want to get off of.
Yeah, I know.
No
I
fast
know.
path.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And so I'm curious to know because we haven't done a show since President Biden dropped out and Vice President Harris is now running for president. And my question to you was going to be: is this country willing to support a female? And I know
Look,
we're in California, and California's more basically productive of thinking ahead and but the rest of the country we always wonder about. So I don't know your feelings. I'm kind of curious. As a strong woman who again I know you produced this and you did things that people didn't see coming, and you aren't getting basically the accolades you deserve.
well, I am.
Something
I
as
am
big
getting the
as the
accolades I
president.
deserve. I am getting the accolades I deserve. It's just funny who has been silent on them and not like it's
Yeah,
just whatever.
yeah,
I think this is an exciting time. I think that at first it was like, uh-oh. It was like hold your breath when he dropped out. It was a bit of a uh-oh. But I think it might have been the slap in the face that this country needed, like to bring out the young voters, the female voters, the black voters, everybody. Like let's pull together here. And if there is ever a time for a female president, let's go. I saw a meme today that said 2024 is the year to make sure Project 2025 doesn't become a thing. And I mean, I couldn't life is funny. You can't write this shit, right? Like you can't make this stuff up, but everything happens for a reason. And I feel like the one time they're trying to take all our rights away as women, we have a female candidate. And I mean, if nothing else, that irony is not lost on me. I will support it all the way simply because Project 2025. I mean, simply based on that, I will not vote red. I it's the most insane thing I've ever heard and read in my life. So I just it's frightening. It's absolutely frightening. It's Handmaid's Tale come to life. If for anybody who isn't aware of it or hasn't listened to it or read the 900 and something pages of it, it is absolutely things nightmares are made out of. No
I don't
contraception.
disagree.
You will not allowed
Yeah.
to buy contraception here, sir. Luckily, you guys are probably not in the childbearing ages
Yeah,
anymore. But for any of you that are,
yeah.
no more contraception for you. I mean, it's just wild. So I just, I'm excited about it. I'm excited that there's somebody fresh in the race because I was sitting there going, oh my God, these are our choices. Like, come on, America. In this whole country, we can't come up with better candidates than this.
It was bizarre to watch. I tell you, I always laughed how the red side would say the blue side's too old. Your candidate's too old. But technically, those two guys, meaning Biden and Trump, would have been in high school together. They're
Right.
they're that close in age. People make it sound like Joe's 181, but technically they would have been in high school together. They're very close in age, and so it's interesting all the way around.
And you know what
Yeah,
else is interesting? It's interesting that one debate, one bad night, one off night is what threw everything off course for Joe, just one
yeah.
night of being overtired, overworked, and, frail, quite honestly. That just changed everything. Game changer in one conversation.
It's funny because you spend a lot of your time in front of the camera and you understand when people look in front of the camera don't look in front of the camera. And I watch for it too, and I'm watching and I'm going, you have one guy who's really not answering questions. I mean, direct questions not answering, but yet he's coming off better in front of that camera. And then you got Joe over here who, when he's not talking, is mouth breathing, his mouth's dropped open and he looks like a frail old man. And I'm going, he is drowning right in front of us.
Yeah.
It was bad TV. It was really bad.
It's really bad. It's like, they
Yeah.
say you say one thing and you're canceled, and it was like
Yeah.
that was it for him. It was but again, like, everything happens for a reason, right? And let's hope that this is the blessing that we need.
I'm very curious to see how everything plays out now, especially. I mean, all of a sudden it's been really quiet from the Republican side since she's been announced. It's well, we don't have a lot of ammunition. We're trying to find stuff and build up, but it is very interesting to see how it goes. I did laugh at a line that I saw yesterday on Twitter because she has raised like $150 million since they announced she's the candidate. And
Yeah.
they said she has raised so much money over the last few days that Melania Trump is thinking about marrying her. was, was the line that the money is coming in like you wouldn't believe. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be a very interesting 4 months or so. And guess what? The entire world's going to be watching to see
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
what we are.
I know, it's true, and I the only thing I've seen is misogynistic things about her
Of
getting
course.
her career by dating and, just stupid nonsense bullshit
Yeah.
that means nothing. Um, so yeah, there's no good argument.
You
I
you
haven't
know
seen a
what?
good argument yet.
We talk all the time about reality TV shows and the drama that goes into these shows. The drama that would have been crazy to me would have been if Gavin Newsom ran, because Kimberly Guilfoyle, who's dating Donald Trump Jr., used to be married to Gavin Newsom. So not only did she switch parties, she switched completely over to the other side. But I would love to have seen Newsom debate Trump, and every time he answered a question, just look at his ex-wife and did the wink, like, like I'm talking directly to you. What do you think of that one? Was that a good one? To just wink at his ex-wife, just to kind of get into the whole family's head. But as the drama goes, yeah, no, it's gonna be something else. I told you way before on this show, and I've told you, I think, privately, that when I vote, I always vote female if there's a candidate, and the reason is I know the way men think, and as a guy myself, I'm not detail oriented enough, not as detail oriented as other women that I work with, and for guys, I think it's always I solve the problem, I'm going to move on. I solve the problem, I'm going to move on. Whereas women will spend time looking at every single bit of that piece of information, and that's why I vote for a female all the time because I want to make sure that we get things right.
It's frustrating sometimes when I see women post like, "I'm not with her," or, against other females, and
Yeah,
when are we ever gonna get there if it's not now? And, why does it it's just it's also frustrating to see people voting strictly on party and not on who's most qualified. You know what I mean? It's just really rough. Um
would it be easier in my mind? I'm asking you, do you agree with this? If we were able to, well, listen, we didn't have any perfect world, we didn't have any parties, and you're just running off of basically what your beliefs are, what your calibers are. This is what you are, and I think people would be shocked of how their direction would go, how it would change. What's acceptable in the House and what's acceptable by their parties are two different things. But if there were no parties and you just voted on their people's merit and what they are as an individual, I think you'd get different people in office.
Well, you would, but this is why, like, I am so independent, really, in my way of thinking. But you can't vote independent because then it's like a wasted vote. When
Yeah, it
is it
is a
going to
waste
be
of vote.
time where we have a legitimate, candidate that could actually be an independent and actually win? There might be a lot more peace in this country than people imagine if you found somebody who is in between, not so
Yeah,
far right, not so far left, because both sides have completely lost it, in my opinion. Um, yeah, I hope I get to see that day. That'd be a
me
really
too.
nice day to see an independent have a fair chance.
No, no, me too. It seems very, very strange. Let me ask you. I was out of town this past weekend. I went to Denver, Colorado. I've never been to Denver in my life, and the story I'm going to say has nothing to do with the city. It's just had to do with men arguing with each other. That people I didn't know. I just saw it in a hotel lobby. Are you a person that you think if do you hold a grudge when you get angry? Do you hold on to it or do you let it go?
Okay, well, I know not to hold on to let it go. So, but it's a conscious effort I have to make, obviously.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I'll be annoyed, but you have to consciously undo that. And set that free and let that go, because what's that saying, like it's like drinking poison expecting the other person to get sick.
Yeah.
um it doesn't do you any good. You have to go about your day unaffected. So what about you?
I was a big strike one guy. I'm not going to give you three chances to fuck me over, but one strike's enough for me to never talk to you again. I was that way. I think I was a big grudge guy for a long time. I literally at one point in my life, I had a list of 10 people that when I died, I wanted my son to tell those 10 people, hey, my dad said fuck you on the way out. And my younger son Jake says, I'll read that list, I'll tell those people. I go, you let everybody know that, hey, my dad hated your guts, you treated him wrong, and he just wanted to make sure that you knew that he said fuck you on the way out. My list of 10 isn't 10 anymore. It's gotten better. It's down to about 2. But yeah, I was a big grudge guy. And the reason I brought it up was I saw something that to me was so funny. I was in the lobby of a hotel, and I'm just sitting there looking at my phone, and there's a guy to my left, and he's sitting on the couch, and this guy gets off the elevator. The two guys know each other. The guy gets off the elevator, and he is pissed at the guy on the couch, and he straight out starts yelling at him, and everybody can hear, and everybody's looking, and he goes, you know what, man, I'm fucking pissed. You did me wrong. This is ridiculous. And he's going off for about 2 minutes, and he goes, you know what, I don't even fucking care. And the guy on the couch calmly said, well, obviously you care. Look how upset you are. And the guy looked at him and stared at him like, wait a second. And then he just put his arms out, like, give me a hug. And they both stood up and hugged it out. And their whole fight was over in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, I've never seen two people solve whatever the hell happened that fast by just going, give me a hug. That was it.
Well, you also don't know the context. That
I
could have been
don't. I have no
something.
idea what happened. I have no idea.
See, because I think there's a difference too between holding a grudge
Yeah.
and just not dealing with that person anymore. Because if somebody screws you over, I don't know why you entertain them ever again. You can not entertain them and still not hold a grudge.
Yes.
You know what I'm
that's true.
saying? Like, you can still be like, okay, that's great. No hard feelings. I'm going this way, you go that way.
But as a mom, and I'll say as a dad too, if you do it to my kid, it is on forever. It is a
Yeah.
whole nother level. Like, you go after me all you want. You take it out on my kid. Now, I'm going to think of the next way I'm going to fuck you over. That's kind of like, kids are off limits. You cross the line.
Yeah, kids are definitely off limits.
But
That's
in
a
your
no-brainer.
business, you always hear how Hollywood things are so cutthroat too. Is Hollywood as cutthroat as the rumors are?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. I can't
You
think of a
sound like
more
the Kool-Aid guy. Oh
I
yeah.
can't think of a more cutthroat place with more bullshit and lies and promises and oh yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's earned its reputation. Let's just put it that way.
In my business and in radio, it was always like, you're in radio because they stab you in the front. It was like, that's just the way it was. That was always the saying, like, don't trust anybody, they're gonna get you, kind of a deal. But yeah, I can imagine it's tough. I mean, that is a tough thing to know every single day. I don't know if I'm being lied to or not, or someone's trying to take advantage of me. At what
Yeah.
age did you realize that's the way the business was?
I mean, I feel like I unfortunately learned that really early because I was being abused on a set and having
Yeah.
to lie, and things got really murky really quickly at a very young age. So I think pretty early, unfortunately. Yes. Yes.
No, that's no. Just now, as we said, kids are off limits. That's definitely
Yeah, no, that's a whole different
that's amazing. That's
that's a whole
amazing.
different ballgame. But you know what? I want totally off subject. We
Yeah.
had talked about, one of the questions were about comedians, and I said there was a really funny guy, and I couldn't remember his name. It was Nate Bargatze. Do you know him?
Yes, I know exactly how it is. I'm sure you got his last name right. Now I'm thinking you got the name wrong. Is it
Bargatze? No, I think
shoot.
it's right.
Okay, go ahead. I know exactly what you're talking about. Hilarious.
He did the Yamava casino, but he's got a really good set that's like clean and family oriented and all of that. So I just wanted to throw his name out there in case anybody remembered that I completely forgot his name. Nate Bargatze. So funny, such a funny guy. And I love it when people can be, um, like, because I'm so jaded, they can make me belly laugh without using any like profanity or dirty or anything like that.
Yeah,
That's so rare. And
yeah.
he's just one of those guys. So I was like, wanted to get his name out there.
Is stand up one of those things you could ever see yourself doing? I mean, when you
No,
watch these people do stand up, right? It's pretty tough. As
it's
comfortable as you are with being mic'd up or being in front of a camera, doing stand up's a whole nother thing.
yeah, and you have nobody to like if you're off, if your timing is off, you're stuck. You're like by
Yeah.
yourself, right? There's no saving it. There's no bouncing off of anybody. You're really out there
No,
walking the plank, you know?
that is a tough one. That is really interesting. It's always
And their
fascinating to
memory,
me.
their
Oh yeah.
memories, like how do they remember all that shit?
Yeah. It's always scary to me when you hear about these comedians that you find out later on that they fight depression. That a lot of
Yeah.
these guys fight depression, and that's the time that they're comfortable or they're able to mask it, whatever, is when they're on stage and have that light on them. But then when you hear these horrible stories, you're like, I had no idea. You know, you spent your entire life trying to make people laugh, and then you find out a lot of these guys fight major depression.
Yeah, I think it's the high highs and the low lows, and
Yeah,
they kinda go hand in hand. Yeah, it is sad. It is really, really sad.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Just curious. This week, did you watch Housewives of New Jersey? Did you catch anything?
I did. I did watch it. What um, I don't know what to say about it. I feel like I feel like these women just need to grow up. I think we're still in the same place we are with it though from our last
No,
podcast.
it's it.
No.
Well, it's funny you say that because I thought this episode, the last week one, is really nothing major happened. I think it kind of was just there. It was one of those shows you could have literally been on your computer and had it playing in the background and listened to it. There's nothing major to look up at the screen. It was one of the more uneventful ones. But I will say, I'm picking sides. I'm not Team Teresa. Not Team Jen. I'm more on the Melissa side, but I like the fact that there's a little bit of a crack in the armor there between Jen and Teresa. Once Jen saw that Teresa didn't stand up for her in that her podcast in the church, and I'm like, okay, good. There's a little bit of
Yeah,
a crack in the armor, and that's what I was hoping to see.
I know there is definitely a big crack, and that Danielle is really going for it. She
Yeah,
is
she
really
is.
going for the low blows and laughing. Like she's just like
Yeah.
she's got nothing to lose. She
No.
said to Jen, "You look like absolute shit," and with a big smile on her face. But I mean, and they're all one to talk, but they're like all of them have terrible fashions, except Melissa. And Margaret and Melissa, I think, are the only ones that don't have this terrible Jersey fashion. But oh my god, oh Dolores is cute too. Dolores is pretty cute, but she sometimes is Jersey. But I mean, yeah, they are just low blows. They are just smacking each other around, and it's going to be really interesting to see why there was no reunion because there's no reunion on this.
Oh, I didn't
They
realize there was no
canceled it. They
reunion.
pulled the plug on a reunion for this season.
Okay.
So, I mean, what happens if that got pulled? Because that's their biggest, highest rated show
Yeah.
is the
Well,
reunion.
I hope it's something good and not just because Teresa and Melissa refused to be in the same room. I hope it's not something as simple as that.
Oh, you and me both. I know.
You know. Uh,
Maybe it's restraining orders because of the
oh,
function they hit.
oh yeah.
I don't
That's a good
know.
one.
I wonder. I
That's a
guess
good
that would
one.
be all over the news probably, but
If it was restraining orders, you could do them like one person across the street with a
yeah,
camera. That
I've
which would
seen
have
them
been
work around
hilarious.
that. Yeah, I've seen
You
them
know.
work around that before too. Yeah. Vanderpump Rules, they worked around one of those.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. They did with Rachel and stuff. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's fine. No, I'm in. Again, as I said, I'm into these shows. I like the way it goes. I like the drama. Melissa's, clearly my favorite, which is funny as hell. When she first started, I didn't want to like Melissa, and she's by far my favorite on the show. It's and there's something about Margaret who doesn't give a shit about anything and acts like she's invincible. And she's the one person that can get in Teresa's head.
Yeah.
She's the one person that controls her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really gets
Nah.
under her skin. Yeah, she really
Yeah.
does.
I love it. I don't know. That's why I watch these stupid shows. I hate to say it. That's the kind of stuff. The reason I watch the mind games on how they're able to pull that one off. That's funny as can be.
Do you watch Dubai at all? I watched the new episode of Dubai last
You know
night.
what? I have not watched Dubai. Is it one that I need to catch up on?
Um, I mean, you better do it quick if you're going to do it.
It's all right. I've did it with Miami, where you told me Miami, and then I ended up watching like all of them in 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, I think OC and New Jersey are plenty, but
Yes.
I need something to fall asleep to, so I definitely watched the Dubai. Dubai fascinates me. So I'm just like that lifestyle and how they live out there and how that city was built and just the whole thing about Dubai. I sit there in awe. So that's why I can't stop watching that one.
Yeah. No, the Dubai is you're right. Very, very interesting. All right,
Yeah.
there are some questions here. There's a question here actually I see in your mailbag, so I'm going to
Okay.
jump to the mailbag. All right. So again, if you have a question for Nicole, all you have to do is go to the website perfectlytwistedpod.com. You'll see the mailbag right there at the top of the screen. We do have questions that are coming in, so if I don't get to your question today, I do see them, so I apologize. But keep sending them in, and then we'll do our best to get them on the show as fast as possible. This is you have 5 questions from Norma. Okay.
Okay.
It says, Nicole, I'm also a fan of Housewives of Orange County. And I'm curious to know, who is the one person on the show you would hang out with, and who is the one person you wouldn't hang out with?
Okay. I would definitely hang out with Heather Dubrow. I feel like we probably have the most we could relate to. Who I'm not loving is Gina and her friend, her sidekick Emily. Uh,
Yeah.
it's like leave the New Jersey in New Jersey. I don't know. I feel like she's kind of being mean girl. She's kind of having some delusions of grandeur with her real estate, her her real estate job, and this poor woman is like got 5 kids and is getting evicted, and
Right.
she's being such a bitch about it. And it's like, I yeah, it's not great and you vouched for her, but, like, at the end of the day, this stuff happens. It's business. Business
Yeah.
and personal is very different. Your whole career is not ruined because of
No.
this, and the father stepped in and paid for it, right? So, like,
Yeah.
why you keep digging at this woman? It's just I don't know, it's a little embarrassing, I think. So, I probably wouldn't hang out with her.
No, that's a good call too. Heather's interesting that you said that. I always try and read what Heather is, and then I'm trying to think: is Heather a nice person, a truthful person with just a ton of money, or is Heather? I don't know what
She
Heather is. I can't figure her out.
she's
Every
like
time
a
I think,
princess. She's just like a
yeah,
princess who fine dines and shops. I
yeah,
mean, so, not that that's what I'm about, but I wouldn't mind hanging out with that and
yeah,
just
I wouldn't either.
observing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm curious. So now I know you've met her husband, but do you know Heather? Do you know
I
her?
don't know Heather, no.
Okay, okay, that's
No, 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 but,
that's funny.
somewhere in there, there's, an actress who a down to earth actress somewhere in there. I think she's
Yeah,
sort of, kind of lost, a lot of touch with life because of the amount of money that he makes, but, I think it would be funny. I think like, just to watch in awe at the just like even in the last episode when she's, like, sitting down to get her picture taken, and the way she, like, lays her dress out like she's Cinderella, and I'm just like, "Who can do that? Who can sit
yeah.
there
No
and
kidding.
be
Good
like
point.
that vain?" I don't know, it's just funny, but yeah, so I think it'd be comical to watch.
Even the party she threw, the like get together in an afternoon party was like more put into that than any wedding I've been to. That
It
was
was
that was
weird.
that was a lot.
It was so weird, and what was that
Yeah,
booth with, like, the questions? Like, it was, like, the
yeah,
money booth, but it was
yeah.
questions, like, I don't know, that was a very strange party. I didn't
No,
quite
no, it
understand that
was.
party.
It was. All right, next question on here. It says, Nicole, what's an underrated TV show from your childhood?
Underrated, that's tough. I feel
It's a
like
tough one. It's a
that's a
tough
tough
one.
one because I feel like back in the day, in the childhood and during my childhood, the shows got the recognition because there
There
weren't
weren't a
so
lot of
many.
TV channels and options.
But, I mean, Pippi Longstocking? I love that show. I loved Pippi Longstocking. She was my favorite. Um I feel like that should make a comeback.
I
I
tell
can't
you
think
that I'm gonna give you. I know you. I think you and I have discussed that. We have. I know we said this before. I did not. I didn't. I never saw Mary Tyler Moore when it aired. I was just too
of.
young. I don't remember my parents watching it. I remember All in the Family. I remember some of the shows my parents would watch. Um, but when Mary Tyler Moore passed away about 7, 8 years ago, they started running them like crazy on TV, and I was like, "Oh my god, this show might be the greatest sitcom of all time." Like it is. The writing was outstanding. The acting was great. I could not get enough Mary Tyler Moore. It became a running joke with all my friends. Hey, you want to go out Thursday? You're going to be watching Mary Tyler Moore. I
Yeah.
could not get enough of this damn show.
I
And I
was
know
like
it's
that in
not.
my 20s. I was like that in my 20s with her. That and Bob, her and Bob Newhart. I love it. I love that era. No, you're right. Fantastic. But I don't think it's underrated. I think,
No, it's not.
yeah, I think it
But I
got
was a
off.
little kid. I mean, you were a little kid too. So I mean, like
Yeah.
you didn't catch it live either. You know what are you 4 or
Well,
5 years old?
my mom would watch it, so
Okay.
I would catch it live, and then I rewatched it when I was older. So, uh, yeah, I don't think it's underrated. I can't. Um, yeah, I think it definitely got its recognition.
The craziest thing about that show is I don't know if you do this, but like I'll watch TV and then I'll go to info and then go to cast and I want to see how old people were when they were playing those roles. Do you do the same thing or no?
No.
No, okay, I'm just a psycho. So, so when you watch a show like Mary Tyler Moore and you're looking at Lou Grant, and you're looking at Gavin McLeod, and you're going, these guys are like 41, 42 years old. Like they aren't that old, but they look like they're today. You go, that guy's 67. Like it's
Yeah,
so funny how old everybody looked,
I
in
know.
the 70s.
And it was like the way they dressed, right? Everything
Yeah.
was like, yeah, you were an older person at that age. Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh my gosh. All right. Question number 3. Nicole, as a famous person, have you ever been mistaken for someone else?
Um, I don't know. I don't think so. I get a lot of like, did we go to high school together? And
Oh,
then,
oh, really?
yeah,
So
people will
they
say that. Did we go to
So
high
it's
school
not a
together? And then I'll
pickup
say like,
line,
no, I
but
did.
it's
Huh?
like because they recognize your so it's not really a pickup line, but they thinking in their mind, I remember that face from my high school years and probably not realizing they saw you on television.
Yeah, and
That's funny.
9 times out of 10, if I say like, "No, I didn't go to high school," and they say, "But I know you from somewhere," and I'll say, Charles in Charge or something like that. No, that's not it.
That is 100% it. That is funny as hell. No, that's not it. You're way off.
No, that's not it. Baywatch? Nope, definitely not it. Never seen that
That is funny. That would make me laugh.
show.
Oh my gosh. All right, Nicole, what is your favorite type of food?
My favorite type of food. Okay, it's a real toss up between Japanese and Mexican. Um, Real toss up. I go back and forth between the two of them like they are going out of style and I'm never going to be fed them ever again. Um, yeah, Japanese and Mexican all day, every day.
Is your daughter the same? Did she
Yeah.
like because she grew up with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both my kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Yep.
All right, Nicole, where would you rather spend your vacation? On a cruise ship, in a major city, or on a tropical island?
Tropical island all day, every day.
I'm
I
with
mean,
you.
I kind of feeling like I want to give this cruise thing a chance. I did one time. We went on a cruise on Baywatch, and it was just like one of those local ones, like Ensenada, San Diego kind of thing. And I was like slightly seasick the whole time, and like the
Really?
smell of the boat. I just
Yeah.
was like, oh, when does this end? When do we get off? Um, So that was hard, but I like the idea of I'm liking more the idea of being able to explore more places in a shorter period of time, because that's sort of the one thing that I have with traveling is when I travel somewhere, I never wanna leave because there's always
Yeah.
one more thing to see. There's always, "Oh, but then we're so close to this," and, "Oh, we're so close to that." So
Yeah.
I think it might be a good way to, but then my brain goes crazy and I think about being stuck out in the ocean for whatever reason, like what happened to
Yeah.
those poor people with COVID
Oh,
or
yeah.
pirates or bad weather. Oh, you've lost me. That's a nightmare. That it's a nightmare. Things, yeah, no, 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 no. So I would take the island all day long.
Yeah, I would too. I'm a I'd go tropical vacation too. Yeah, the cruise ship thing I've never tried either. I'm always fearful, like, what if I hate it and I'm stuck
There's no
for a
getting
week?
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're stuck.
Yeah. What if
Yeah,
I
and God
hate
forbid anything happens. It's such close quarters and, like, it's
Yeah.
so small. No.
Yeah, I
No.
don't know. Have you seen these older people that have basically said it's too expensive to stay and pay the mortgage and insurance and everything, and they basically just go cruise ship to cruise ship? It's
Yeah, it's
cheaper.
cheaper than rent. Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
and buying groceries and everything else. Yeah,
Yeah, which you know what? That kinda makes sense, and I get that part if you're, like,
yeah,
retired and all that. Okay,
yeah,
maybe so. But then also, like, to circle back to that, you're stuck with the same cooking the whole trip,
yeah.
right?
True.
Like, it's the
Yeah,
same cuisine and the same
no shit.
everything. Nah, not my jam.
Yeah, how many mashed potatoes and lasagna can you eat throughout the week? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of like
yeah,
joining the
yeah.
Navy, just a nicer version, right? I mean, you're on a cruise. I
A
got
much
old. I joined the
nicer
Navy.
version. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. Norma, I appreciate the question. So does Nicole. Again, if you have a question for Nicole, please get it in perfectlytwistedpod.com and look for the daily mailbag, and it's right there at the top of the screen, and we'll get it on. But again, Norma, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Norma. Love the questions. Always love the questions. Give us a like if you're looking at that thumbs up button because we really appreciate that. And really hope I'm gonna be feeling better for you guys next
Good.
week. This week,
We hope
I'm a
you feel
little
better
off.
too.
I keep springing nosebleeds. I like my ears are ringing. I'm a hot mess. So
It's only one way to go. That's up. You're gonna be fine. We
that's
got
right.
you.
That's it. That's it. That's it. So on to better days.
Good deal.
Okay. Bye guys.